This is the TOEFL class on January 12th, 2022. So if you know what the difference between inter and intra is, raise your hand. Karen, you want to take a stab at that?
I think inter is between or among,
Right,
and intra is within.
right, exactly. So the prefix inter means between, and intra, I-N-T-R-A, means within. So what is the internet? Anybody? Sabyula raised his hand, so we're going to ask him to tell us.
Ma'am, it's like different computers around the world, when they are connected together wirelessly or whether wired, they at the web of those connections create the internet. And
Very good.
in the case
Okay.
of intra,
I would like to say something about internet.
Okay, wait a minute. I think Zabyula was continuing. Let's not interrupt him.
I'm sorry.
And
Okay.
And intra is like when you are connected to your home internet. If you are in an organization, before you connect to the wide internet, you are connected to the local internet. It's called ISP, right? So that connection between restricted connection between an organization or a geographical location, that's called an intra, which is not available for everybody to connect to. So this is
Correct.
a restricted connection for a number of
Yes.
people.
So if you're part of an organization that has a web, a network of computers, when you're connected in your organization, within, you're on the intranet. If you're connected outside and globally, then you're on the internet. Does that make sense, Abu?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello,
Good.
everyone.
Okay, so any other words that you don't recognize? Anybody?
May I, teacher, can I answer? Can I continue again for some example about internet?
Yes, Chris, go ahead.
Okay. For me, internet is like allowing to creation the 1,000 way of a social media you use for the social media, and also this is awareness internet that that was not able to combine a computer or had means to like for you use for telephone communications.
Yes, the internet is in fact wireless.
Yeah,
Not
and also
wired.
internet is very useful for us. For like example, internet can use for doing like Zoom meeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there is a very this internet is very useful to us and everyone, because this for this pandemic, because of the internet, you can talk to your relatives or loved ones in different country using by internet connections.
That's right. It has really opened up the world.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Let's go on to any other words. Do you know the difference between a laptop and a desktop?
Professor, can I say?
Yes.
Okay, laptop and desktop, this is two words, these two are based on computer or PC or personal computer. Laptop means we can carry by ourselves in anywhere, like if we go to our university campus or office or any types of organization that we are involved with, we can go through a organization and we can carry the laptop. or
Right.
the computer which can be carried by a person is called the laptop.
Okay,
And the desktop means it cannot be carried by a person. Okay, so it should be stayed at home, and a person should utilize the computer by his or her own self, and he or she should be able to utilize the desktop very well, because he or she cannot able to carry the desktop in outside. Whether laptop can be carried in outside, but desktop can be carried in outside in anywhere. So I think
well,
that
yeah, very
this is the
simply,
difference between these two. Yeah.
you can carry your laptop and you can't carry your desktop. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the difference between a laptop and a tablet?
Okay. Laptop, a tablet is a version of Android, and it's a long version of Android. And we know that now I'm using this phone, a smartphone. This is an Android phone. Whether if I use a tablet, it will be another Android, but that will be a long version of Android phone. So so I think that we know that Amazon, Apple, then like Xiaomi, then Huawei, then this is another organizations are making some tablets for the users, for
Okay,
some
let's make it much shorter. What's the difference between a laptop and a tablet? You can carry both of them.
Yeah, for
Okay.
Yes, Chris?
For my example, laptop or tablet is it's the same it's the same internet connection, but the tablet is more modern more than the laptop. Laptop, you can do something, files or document, and you can use at printing. It's the tablet, you can use the tablet anywhere. You can travel, but you do not use for making a friend. No, only use for a hand carry. This is an easy way to hand carry on. This is my example, teacher. This is my explanation.
Okay, Abu?
I think there is not a big difference between laptop and tablet, because you can all carry them, but the one that you can carry the most is a tablet, because it is the one that we use the most.
Okay, well, yeah. Nobody has still identified the essential difference
No,
between a
Professor.
laptop and a tablet.
Professor,
I would like to
Yes.
say something, Professor.
Okay, wait a minute. Alex, you've had your hand up.
Can I say something?
Sayed? Yeah,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah,
ahead.
hello everyone, and I hope to be fine and okay. Just I would like to say something about the difference between laptop and tablet. Yeah, sorry.
Go for it.
Laptop.
desktop.
Okay,
laptop.
Sayed is talking.
Yeah, laptop is a little bit large than tablet, and it is more smart and more active and working. But tablet is a little bit small than laptop, and many challenge. It has many challenges in working. For example, you can't use in like many people mentioned this. We can't print, and we can't use industry in factories and in companies in many places. But laptop, we can use it, and we can use for better typing. Yeah, if we want to type something, we can.
Yeah.
But
Right. So basically, yes, it's a question of power. It's also a question of, what the uses are. The biggest computers are called what? Even bigger than desktops.
Supercomputers.
Yeah, supercomputer, desktop.
A server, yes.
A
server.
A server.
Who's who?
A server.
Okay, so I've got hands raised by. Ooh. By
Professor,
Alex
you can continue.
and Zabula.
Okay. I think both of them are electronic machines, but the desktop is somehow has also a box case that like it's very big and not that much big, and I think the desktop absolutely need energy to use, and laptop don't need to like power. It store energy or power in itself, and we can use for a couple of days without any electricity. And also laptop laptop is somehow small and you can carry this and I think this that's all.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, there's kind of a hierarchy of sizes and power and functions. So if you're running a huge corporation, you've got more than a desktop. You've got what?
A server.
Okay, a server, an intranet, an individual going to his office will probably use what kind of computer?
There's one main difference that everybody didn't point out to is that laptops could be touchable, right? And tablets are always like touch. You cannot have a tablet which is not touch. It has a touch screen to it. And at the same time, this is the physical difference between a laptop and a tablet. And there is a difference of functionalities. There are very much powerful things like video editing and graphic design
Yes.
and everything, which is not
Right.
possible on an Android, on a tablet of whatever operating
Right.
system, but it's possible on a
Yeah.
PC and
Exactly.
laptop.
Right. So, like I said, there's a hierarchy. If you go to your office and your computer is there, it's probably a desktop. If you work in the field, if you're in sales or consulting, what kind of computer do you usually use?
Laptop.
Professor, I
Yeah.
use
Now,
the
you would
LED computer.
Yeah, you use a laptop.
Yeah, laptop.
So
Uh,
what would you use a tablet for?
You use for the tablet, teacher, if you are going to travel, because tablet is you can use also that laptop, but mostly to generation now is easy for using a tablet Android because you can connect everywhere. You have a free Wi-Fi and also touchable.
Yes.
But if you want to go to the field and you have something for art or prayer, you need to use a laptop because laptop is a lot of documents. And if you work in the office, you can use a desktop.
Right.
The difference between three: desktop you always use in the house on the office, laptop sometimes you can bring go to the office and you can bring going to outside in your field. And how can I say Android, a tablet, you can use it wherever you go. You can use it, you can bring it easy, you can put in the bag, and sometimes easy to connect the internet connection. This is the most
Yes.
important is a tablet.
Okay. Okay.
Then very fast, teacher.
Right. Okay. So we've been
Thank you.
talking about hardware. How is hardware different from software?
Okay. Can I say something about the hardware and software?
Sure.
Okay, I think software is those those application or those as you know files or folders that are in inside the computer, and we couldn't touch on it. And the hardware is those things, those items or materials of computer that is touchable and you can touch it, and also portable. Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
The hardware is tangible.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
you know, you can see it, you can feel it, you can pick it up. It's tangible. The software is all the materials that are programmed into the device, whatever the hardware device is. Device
Yes, yes.
is another word for hardware. Okay, what's the difference as we're talking about software? What's the difference between a program and an application and a database or a document?
Could I go on and say it?
Yep, you can.
Yeah, a program we have a let's take the example of the software we use, right?
Yes.
Zoom. It's
Good. Good
it's-
example.
Yeah, it's an application which actually in the background it has a hidden side to it, which you enter the data, whatever we put in here, it goes and gets stored in the background, and that store of information which stores our data, that storage of information, the intangible one, it's called the database. And you put our username and passwords, when you log in, it automatically accepts it. So that's matched to the database. So, and the application could be how to say, a software which could be used in different devices, like on Android, on an application could be used for different platforms.
Yes. So the difference, an application is a program, right? And it's a program with a specific use.
Yes.
So,
Yes, teacher.
so you use your database, which is software, for many, many, many uses. But your purchase form, which is probably on your tablet, you know, the form is there and you use it for the purpose of noting who bought what. That's an application.
Mhm.
And a database are files, and a document is one item in a file.
Used for programming.
Any other?
One thing is really important. I forgot to say, I apologize, that
Yeah.
there is the computer you use and I use, the mobile phone which I use, it uses an operating system. That's a program. You cannot function without
Yes,
a program.
that's right. An operating system.
Yes, without a Zoom, my phone can work properly. Zoom is unnecessary, but it's not unnecessary. It's not required to run. If you want to run a computer, you do not need an application, but you need a program.
That's right.
Mhm.
You need an operating system. I
Yes.
remember when every computer was just hardware. There was no operating systems. So in
Yeah,
order to
teacher,
make
can I say something?
that, what?
I would like to show the difference between software and application.
Okay, go ahead.
Software is a collection of instruction or data that operate the hardware. And application is a package that performs and that function the cause of the function, a specific task. For example, how I can say one application. We have many applications and also softwares, especially just used to operate the hardware. For example, we have many softwares on computer and used for running a computer. And we have many applications just to perform a specific task.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I erased my file. No, I didn't.
Professor,
Yes.
Professor, I think that Amina Suba is sleeping.
You think what? Yeah, he looks
Amina
like he
Suba
is.
is sleeping.
Yeah, sweet dreams.
Sweet
He must be very tired.
He's a teacher.
He's a teacher. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is a teacher, I think, in school. He told me one day.
Well, so yeah, he probably has to be there early in the morning and he's worn out. I get that. Sometimes I feel like that too. Okay, so now let's talk about writing. There are 4 different kinds of questions that you get asked on the test in writing. The first one is an open-ended question that doesn't have a correct answer. It's something that you have to decide. We practiced one of those earlier last month. So what changes do you think there will be in the next century? A couple of you worked on that and did a pretty good job. But the big challenge there is narrowing it down enough so you can actually give examples. What? Okay, the second kind of question is the one that's asked here. And that is a preference is a question. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay. This is a question that's in the book that I'm using on TOEFL essays, the writing part. Find myself and see. Yeah. Winning TOEFL essays. And an essay is something you write. So the second type of question is a choice. So they offer this possible question. Some people think that university students should just focus on their specialized, which is misspelled, areas, while others argue that they should take a variety of courses. What's your opinion and why? Include details and examples in your explanation. So you know that to answer this question and get a full score, you're going to need to be able to give a couple of examples, stories of people who benefited from either focusing on their area of specialization or taking a lot of different courses while they were in university. And there is no right answer. These are not questions that have one possible answer. So how are you going to decide whether you say, I think, you're not going to say it, but you're going to imply it, that students should just focus on their specialized areas. Or I think that students should take a variety of classes. What do you need to have to get a good score?
I believe I'm apologize. I didn't raise my hand. I believe we should actually have enough. We could implement. We could actually tell enough examples, or could have a personal experience, or know someone that who has done better in one of those by choosing
Right.
one of those.
Yes,
Could I give an example?
exactly.
Yeah.
And that is going to be much of what you write is going to be telling those examples. So that means if you don't have examples for the one you pick, you're not going to get a good score. Duh. It's very basic. So the first thing is to think about those two options and think about your experience and people you've read about and people you know who may have done one of those two things and how it went for them. Does anybody have an example of somebody who either specialized in what they just wanted to do or who took a lot of courses and then specialized afterwards? Okay, Zabul, I'm going to ask you to see if someone else can contribute here, because I don't want one or two people being the only ones who speak. But thank you for raising your hand. And I may come back to you if no one else does. Can anybody share an example of one of those two choices? Okay, Zabiula, I guess it's you. Go ahead.
I did not understand very well, teacher. That's why I need to think first.
Who's this? Chris, you?
Yes, teacher. Sorry
That
for
was Chris.
interrupt. I did not. I did not understand. That's why I cannot explain very
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Sorry,
So the
teacher.
question,
Sorry, teacher.
yeah, no problem. So the question just asks, you know, which way of planning your studies is better and why? And you can only speak about what you know. So does anybody, okay, when you have designed your program of studies, which strategy have you chosen?
Should
Sayed,
I give an example?
Syed, I think you, with your computer studies, right, you've had the opportunity to just focus on computers.
Yeah, Professor, just I would like to say something about this. Many people say university students should focus on just their special areas, but I totally disagree with this with them, and because we should also focus on some other fields and take some classes and take some take some courses, and also working in other areas. Special areas can't make you better.
Okay, so you're making a choice, and your basic answer would be, it's better to take courses in different areas while you're a student.
Ma'am, can I give an example
Yeah,
as
different.
well?
Okay, so are you going to give an example of why it's better to study courses in different areas?
I could do both.
Well, yeah, we all could do both. So which one?
I'm saying I could play. I mean, I want to play the studying every field rather than specializing in something. At least
Okay, so you're supporting the choice
I'm supporting, and I have
Syed
certain
made.
arguments.
Good.
Yeah.
So tell us your example.
Okay, my example is, if I am studying computer science, at the end of the day, if I become a product manager or if I become a software engineer, I'll be developing that software to people. At the end of the day, I should have enough communication skills to talk to people, to get their view and ideas of what they really want. At the same time, if I want to develop that to a business field or to accounting or to another field, that software should be, I should have at least enough basic knowledge of those fields, which will make me be able to develop something which is very friendly to that organization. Rather than not knowing a subject, it's better to know at least the foundation of those areas. It will make you a better engineer, a better scientist.
That's a good argument. Now, can you tell us an example? Can you tell us a story where that proved to be true?
Yeah, indeed.
Please do so.
I could make it up.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If, for example, I actually, should I just be giving a specific example or just generalizing?
That's what comes next, is a specific example.
Okay, a specific example, like when I finished school, and my school project, there was a part in which we had to develop a fundraising system. So in that, we did not have enough knowledge, but like we needed a person who had knowledge of that field to take help from them. So that's how I realized that if we had enough foundation knowledge in economics or in that subject, it would have helped us in creating that software in a better way. So even if
okay, that's all you need to do, but your story needs to be even more specific.
Yeah,
it needs to actually show us what happened, even if you're making it up.
Yeah, just I say something instead of the Zabula opinion. He says we should study specialized area. Why you follow TOEFL class? You should follow this programming, or
well, he actually was saying what you were saying, that you have to have knowledge in areas you will be working with aside from programming.
Teacher, can I suggest for my opinion?
Chris?
In different student teacher, there's a different specialized. Sometimes they're specialized for programming or computer science. But what if the student like me is like specialized for medicines? I'm studying as a nursing or a specialist as nursing to helping people, but sometimes you need sometimes you are assistant to the doctor, or there is a field, but you can use also for example, teacher, there is a wide area. If for example, if you are in the field, you need to assist a different way to the people you need you, because this is your profession. You're specialized to helping somebody, to helping, and you teach your knowledge also to sharing what you can contribute to help for people that you need.
Right. So your example will come from nursing.
Yes, teacher.
And how knowing psychology, say,
yes, teacher,
helps you to know what people need to hear.
Yes, teacher. This is my opinion.
Good. And
Thank
you
you,
support
teacher.
it well.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. So Syed, do you still have something you want to add?
I'll done the all steps and then share with you about. I'll write one essay.
Oh, good.
About this topic.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So then, once you've picked your two reasons and you know your examples, then you can plan what you're going to say. So there is a fishbone form that makes it pretty clear, and you can just jot in. You don't have to write the whole thing. Just put, okay, in nursing, need to know what people need to hear. Or the other example, in computer programming, you need to know what people need when they're dealing with accounting or economics or whatever subject you're programming for. And those would be your 2 points. So Abu, now's the time for you to share your screen and show us the fishbone. Hey, it looks like a fish bone, right? A fish
Yeah.
body.
Yes,
And
teacher.
it gives you an idea of how to build an essay, an answer that fits what they're looking for. They're looking for this kind of structure. So you have a couple of sentences that just lead in. And then you need to put a summary sentence that says which one you pick. For instance, it's important for students to study courses in a variety of areas because then we can perform our tasks in a way that makes sense to our clients. So the first example is in nursing. That if the nurse knows, what the doctor needs or what the patient needs, he or she exercises their profession better. And then you tell the story of an example, an actual story that in your essay actually happened, whether you made it up or not. It still has to sound like it happened. Okay. And then you have a second example, and that's another field, the programming field that we heard. That if you're programming for economists, for instance, you have to know what kinds of questions and what kinds of issues they're dealing with. And here's what happened to so-and-so who was programming for an economist at such and such a university. And you give that story. You basically really only need to plan 2 body points. If you've got 3 and you can't make up your mind, okay. You have to end up with at least 300 words to get a decent score. So that's important. If you've run through 2 points and you're only at 215 words, you got to think of a 3rd point and an example. And then you write a brief conclusion. So make a screenshot of this design. That is the structure of the piece that you're going to write. And before you actually write, make sure you've got all the pieces, because there's nothing worse than getting stuck in the middle of something you started to write and you can't think of where it goes from there. And it's a lot easier to plan up front. So that's an important thing to get into the habit of doing. Okay, thank you, Abu. You can stop your share. Thank you. And I'm going to go back to, that was step 3. And then in step 4, write the first version, actually make sentences and do it quickly. Just do it, because you have a total of 30 minutes to read the question, make your choice, make your outline, write, and then look at what you wrote to make sure that words that you misspelled and sentence structure issues are taken care of. And when you have done this, and we'll give you a different question to practice with this week, just do it, practice it, and put it on the TOEFL WhatsApp group. And that'll give others a chance to see what's possible and to look at how your essay went. So I also sent to Abu one essay answering this question. And I'm going to first read the first paragraph from the student's version. So without a doubt, I think it's important for students to take classes in many subjects when they're in college. Most of us would use the word university, but so first of all, when college students take courses in different fields, it can not only help them to learn a lot, but also open their minds. Students will have more opportunities to be exposed to more fields, so they will know what they like. Therefore, it will also be easier for them to find out their strong points. They will feel proud of themselves, and this will give them confidence because they will be more concentrated on their academics. Okay, what's your reaction to that first point?
The first paragraph, teachers, there is a PowerPoint. There's a bullet point, teacher. She put a bullet point. This is a good paragraph. Then she discussed regarding the field, and she have a confidence. And maybe if I write, if I rank this, maybe some 6, because there's a bullet point in the first paragraph, teacher. Thank you.
That's right. It's a bullet point in the first paragraph. And you pointed out what's good about it. It identifies a first reason. What doesn't it have? What does it need that it doesn't have?
It's very generalized. It's not very
It's
specific.
very general, exactly. What does it need?
She or he should point out a field that could make it specific.
Yes, he needs an example. So, okay, so it's the same essay, but it's been revised and it's had more vocabulary added, and that first paragraph now has an example. So there is this is first introductory sentence. There is a general debate nowadays about whether post-secondary students should just take courses in their specific field or enroll in a variety of classes. Without a doubt, I think it should be mandatory for students to take a variety of classes while enrolled in university. That's the summary sentence. He clearly chooses one of the options. First of all, when university students take courses in different fields, it can not only help them to acquire a wealth of information, but also broaden their horizons. This also makes it easier to combine 2 arenas into one research topic, to develop their own theories, which creates outstanding papers. Students will have more opportunities to be exposed to more fields, so they will realize their potential. For instance, here comes the example. When I was in college, I majored in labor relations and law, researching labor laws in graduate school. Now that I'm a lawyer specializing in labor law, I feel that the time and effort I spent totally paid off as I got the best of both worlds. It's, one little bitty story, one little bitty example makes it much more clear. So the second paragraph here, in addition, when they get involved with another curriculum, it allows them to expand their social circle and establish valuable connections. They will come in contact with people from different walks of life. They can talk about a variety of issues with others and be exposed to a rich array of fields, ranging from finance to legal to scientific knowledge. It can help them to spark their creativity and stimulate their imagination, allowing them to become more creative overall. A recent survey revealed that students who double major, in other words, they study 2 fields, and Abu, we need to turn the page, earn more than their counterparts who only majored in 1 field 5 years after graduation. There's the example. And it's a fact. Who knows how come the writer happened to know that fact, but it's a fact. It's an example. Okay? So this second version
Yes.
scored much higher than the first draft. First of all, it meets the structure. It actually gives an example of each point. And secondly, notice how they have expanded the vocabulary they used. They used a lot more expressions. Acquire a wealth of information. That's an expression. Broaden their horizons. That's an expression. To be exposed to more fields, so they will realize their potential. The effort and time paid off as I got the best of both worlds. Those are expressions that are commonly used in English. And one of the things that judges for the test are scoring is how well do you use different expressions? How much do you sound like someone who really knows English? So that's why we're giving you the vocabulary words to practice, because the only way to learn words is to keep practicing them. Also, when you read something and you wonder, what is a wealth of information? What does that actually mean? You look it up in the dictionary and write the expression down and make it yours. Use it somehow in something you write or in something you talk about. Okay? The rest of the essay, of this full scoring essay, is in the resource posting. And then there is a concluding sentence to finish the fishbone structure. To sum up, having a diverse academic palette, P-A-L-A-T-E, far outweighs being intellectually one-dimensional. Ultimately, this makes a solid career foundation. It's over 300 words, so it's long enough. It gets a good score on vocabulary. It gives it's structured in the fishbone structure, and it, uses grammatical sentences and vocabulary words. It shows a good wide vocabulary. So those are the things that when you practice speaking and especially when you practice writing, those are things we need to keep practicing, because that's the only way to learn how to do those things. Sabiuli, you've got a question?
You actually spontaneously answered me, but I'll still ask the question. The question is, ma'am, that I got a good vocabulary. I'm not bad in it. Like in this whole essay, there was nothing I didn't know, no word, nothing. Like I knew everything in it. Yeah,
Excellent.
but the problem is when it comes to writing, I do not know. And even spontaneous speaking, I cannot get good words. I just it skips my mind. I cannot remember
Well,
good words to write.
Anybody give
Yeah.
them some advice? How have you dealt with that?
A lot of my students, I would like to say something. A lot of my students told me and tell me, we have 1,000 words in the mind, but when we talk on the stage, we can't. What's the problem, teacher? And I have one suggestion. If you have many words in your mind and you can't write and can't use in your speaking, you need to practice. Yeah, you need to practice.
Practice. That's a classic statement. It is so, yes, you can stop the sharing, Abu. Thank you. That's basically it. That's the truth. Every day you need to practice.
Yeah.
And you need, just need to sit down and take the time. And if you can do it for 20 minutes, do it. If you can do it for 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there, do it.
Yes.
And the more you do, the more you listen, the more you read. Those are the two ways that we learn vocabulary, that we learn how to talk about different subjects. And then we need to share and talk about them ourselves. So you don't have to write for a test. Just write, pick a topic and write. And develop paragraphs, make a point, and give an example. Just get that so it's inbred in you. It's like it's in your genes. It's so automatic.
Yeah.
When you say something, you got to give an example. Just practice doing that. It's practice, practice, practice. So on Living Peace Now, that's basically what we're helping you do. Is we've got classes every day, and that gives you a chance to practice.